I am afraid of Dylan.
They see us jumping out that van, or they can't run from us. He tripping for he done no switches fast, it ain't no getting it. Fuck the odds. We gon' spin up on they block, throw hella shots, go drop for drop. All that wolfing, he done dead and got him pop, go out for op.
He felt that button and he twitched, that's the repercussion. When I jump out on niggas' blocks, that's the reaper coming. I feel like Meech, I'm on my way to go meet my cousin. Caught one, 10 minutes later, yep, from the back block running.
What's going to be coming up on your screen is the video of the second incident that occurred just 30 minutes later in North Philadelphia, a number of miles away. And in this video, there's our suspect vehicle. The suspects are going to be jumping out of the car, and you're going to see momentarily they're going to start firing shots at our victim. This is in the 25. Obviously, there's audio connected with this video. That's pretty dramatic.
I'm blame the troll for the past another day, bitch, watch him out. We them youngers that hop out and stand on beds. Get that drop, cause he was thinking with his dick, that's what it is. We get over, know they mad, cause what's the name got put to bed.
12 did the race. They had he stuck inside the crib, he still escaped. We the ones that's cracking tacos on tape.
Beginning in May 25th of 2021, a series of murders committed by members of YBC came to my attention and ultimately resulted in the conviction of 3 individuals for the murders of Nasir Marks and Kanye Pittman, May 25th of 2021. Those same 2 defendants, along with Yasim Miles, shot and killed 15-year-old Kanye Pittman.
I asked Brody what he smoking on. He said he can't say we spent that block and he got dropped. It wasn't meant, but he got framed. He tried run, his shit started giving up. Big 4 hit his brain. Check the stats. Why he's big, YFA and did some things. Can't talk about rap, but we got Vicks from hood to hood. Niggas pay us our respect when we walk in, bitch, know we good. A murder K, walking down, just dream like you should. They don't play with us, we dangerous up in our hood.
Since the beginning of this channel, we have thoroughly gone over the guys who made up the group YBC. And right along with YBC, you hear of another group named YFA, or the Young Face Rangers, a much more violent acronym for a subgroup of teenagers that follow behind the older generation. While separated in age by only 3 or 4 years, the fate of the members of these sets are separated by outcomes: jail/prison for YFA members, and death for a lot of the YBC members like Duel, J100, or more recently, Da Vinci, who was found shot and killed in North Philly. The fate of YFA members like F5, Baby Wick, and Murder K was jail and prison before someone on the street had a chance to take their life.
Why they cap like we ain't push it on the map? Go check the stats. Why I fade and stood on top, that's max. Bitch, we murder gang, them lazy drills and shit, we spinning back, bro, that's a fact. All the shots from my dad car, that shit was wet.
Longtime viewers would know that Reek12Hunnit is the epitome of a crash out. A crash out, or crash dummy, as some would like to say, is taken from the concept of crash test dummies, used by car companies to simulate car crashes and the effects on the human body. Modern crash dummies usually record data such as velocity of impact and crushing force on the body. A quote crash dummy on the streets refers to someone, usually a young teenager, who acts with complete disregard for their own life or safety and often performs reckless, dangerous, or illegal acts for others.
My shooter's hungry. I told him bring his head back on the platter, make sure it's splatter. Wander Franco hit his shit like I'm a batter.
Mr. Disrespectful, sending it. You know we coming, grab my glizzy with that switchy, let all shots leave him stomach.
Clout is dangled in front of them and they are easily manipulated without considering future consequences. They are seen as disposable, acting on behalf of others who stay safe from legal repercussions. In 2021, Reek12Hunnit was one of the first to rap on the song Top Seed, right after a FaceTime call with 2 other YFA members who would be the first in a long line of quote crash outs we have seen go down in the last 5 years. What brings us here today is that last month, Reek filed and heard a ruling on his recent appeal of his life sentence. We will hear the arguments that one might use as a Hail Mary after a trial or a guilty plea. Most of the time, if you plead guilty, an appeal of the sentence is the last resort, but seldom positive results are seen. If you appeal the jury verdict, as is the case with Reek here, there is a lot more leeway to get out of the situation. Finding exact success percentages for murder appeals is complex because the legal system defines success in different ways, ranging from a full exoneration to a shorter sentence or a new trial. Reek was seeking relief on a 35.5 to life sentence he received on multiple murder, or on attempted murder, aggravated assault, and 2 counts each of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, plus other various gun charges. The core issue on appeal was whether the trial court erred by consolidating his 2 separate criminal cases into a single trial. Poverty, death, trauma, the deadly cycle of life in the slums of North Philly. By 10th grade, Reek12Hunnit had dropped out of high school because he feared he would be killed leaving school. By 17, he was rapping about catching 2 bodies in one day, and shortly after turning 18, Reek would be sentenced to the rest of his early adult life in prison for killing a kid younger than him and another a year or 2 older. When you think YBC, you think West Philly, but Reek wasn't from West. He lived most of his life at 12th and Susquehanna in North Philly, raised by his mom, who had him when she was just 16. His father was shot and killed when he was 1. Before his death, his father was in prison when Reek was born, and also for the first 9 months of his life, before getting a few months to spend with his son, Samaj, before he was killed. His family called him Maj growing up, and like most kids, he didn't complain about his situation. He rolled with the punches and went through life the best he could. But with little to do in North Philly, him and his friends would start fights in school, participate in flash mobs, and basically any trouble he could find to get into, he would. He started smoking weed every day when he was 12, and before long, he was joyriding and stolen cars. These are the makings of a kid looking for acceptance in all the wrong places, the need to prove his worth in this world. Unfortunately for Reek and his eventual victims, this is a story all too familiar to kids from his circumstances and would lead to him crashing out for a gang in a completely different neighborhood. By 8th grade, he was skipping school and diving headfirst into the streets. Then at 14, something happened that would truly change his life forever. Reek suffered a catastrophic brain injury after he and others ran from the cops in a Johnny, and the car ended up smacking out. Reek was thrown headfirst through the windshield and into the street. He wound up in a coma, and he couldn't even remember his age when he first woke up. His face was fractured in multiple places, and he had brain injuries as well. After a month in the hospital, instead of going to therapy for the PTSD he was most likely going to suffer from, he went right back to the streets, right back to the path that almost ended his life. Reek had been writing songs since he was 8 or 9 years old, he told the Philadelphia Inquirer, and as he grew into a teen, music became a way to express his emotions and creativity. He called himself Reek12Hunnit. Reek was a nickname his friends gave him, he said, while the number 12 represented his block. Less than a year after the car accident, he pointed to the day when he was 15 and saw his friend get shot as a catalyst for how his life took its greatest turn. He told all this to the Inquirer when reporter Ellie Rushing went up to State Road to interview Reek. By 15, he was releasing music on SoundCloud and YouTube. Back then, it was a completely different style and melody that he was using, and he tried his hardest. But like 99% of people who pursue music, he failed at first. Back then, in 2019 and 2020, Reek was rapping basic with songs like Mobbin'. It was run-of-the-mill rap lyrics, with Baby Wick and his friends as a constant presence in all of his music videos as well. It was nothing groundbreaking or unique at all. But in 2021, there was a slight shift in tone. In the song Hood, Reek started to rap more about having ops, getting into street shit, and more importantly, he was showing off guns in the video. He said the guns were purchased after he was shot at twice in one day. First, while walking to get a haircut, and then again while getting into a car to go to the music studio. That joint traumatized me, he said, of being trapped in the back of the car. Reek, FS the Bender, Baby Wick, and 1K or Murder K would start calling themselves the Young Face Arrangers, an obvious reference to how one looks after a headshot.
Y'all block, y'all know what happened. Y'all ain't clap, so how y'all clappers? Glizzy switching this shoe rap. This head, so it don't matter, spinning. Lust to the fast, nigga like. X out all these factors.
Yeah, they doing bad. Double step inside that car, don't face the Rangers on his ass.
We the face arrangers, and we pop out, y'all know just what we do. On Mondays, 8 for muffins, Tuesday crackers, taco 2. And Brody get active, drop the X, then pop the blue. They caught him loafing on that block, they put his ass up on the news.
Yeah.
Free all the members, free all the guys, we'll be home real soon. Big YBC, big YFA, we stand on business, y'all know what the fuck.
OG, I don't think they ready for this one.
This is a vendor report, live from the jail.
We the face of Rangers when we blitz, you know it's getting bad.
By 2020, a few connections in the streets, and he was friends with YBC Duel and F5 and making drill songs, which was not a thing in 2020 in Philly. Like I said earlier, he made the song Hood in 2021, the last that he made solo before appearing in F5's video, Top Seed. 2021 would be the year things would shift from bad to worse to out of control. Nasir Marks from West Philly was on a completely different life trajectory. Nasir Marks was an 18-year-old senior at Overbrook High School. He was weeks away from his graduation and had plans to attend Kutztown University. On Tuesday, May 25th, 2021, at approximately 7:29 p.m., Marks was shot multiple times on the 3900 block of Poplar Street in West Philadelphia. His father, Jermaine, stated the family was actively making graduation shirts when they received a phone call about the shooting. 8 days earlier, on May 17, 2021, a black Toyota Camry was stolen from the area of 34th and Lancaster. On May 20th, 2021, 3 days later, that black Toyota Camry was used to steal a green 21 Subaru Forester from the 400 block of Queen Street. A camera installed nearby captured the theft. Reek and Zaire Crawford, or Murder K, exited the black 2021 Toyota Camry, stole the Forester, and drove off. On May 5th, 2021, at 7:29 p.m. at 39th and Poplar, Nasir was shot and killed. Police collected 8 9mm shells and 11 .40 caliber shell casings. The Ring camera shows the green Subaru fleeing the scene following the sound of gunshots. 30 minutes later, at 7:59 p.m., police responded to the 2500 block of Sydenham Street. A 15-year-old, later identified as Kanye Pittman, was lying on the street, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to his torso and head. Responding officers took Kanye to the hospital, where he later died. The subsequent investigations revealed a second victim, later identified only as SF, as he was a minor at the time, also had been shot in the right leg, upper shoulder blade, and tailbone. At the scene of the Sydenham Street shooting, police recovered 39 pieces of ballistic evidence, including 34 shell casings. 3 of those shell casings were from a .40 caliber gun, and 31 shells were fired from a 9mm handgun. Surveillance video was recovered from the area, and it shows a GMC truck driving up Sydenham Street before stopping suddenly. 4 individuals are seen walking from where the vehicle stopped, with one person, later identified as Zaire Crawford, or Murder K, running up close to the area where Kanye Pittman was found and shooting towards that area from a close distance. Also identified in the video, both before and after the shooting occurred, was SF.
He was a good child.
Nasir Marks' family had been preparing for his high school graduation party, but the 18-year-old was shot multiple times on the 3900 block of Poplar Street in West Philly around 7:30 Tuesday night and later died.
We was literally making graduation shirts when we got the phone call.
Marks was a senior at Overbrook High School. He was also set to attend Kutztown University. Now his dad holds on to his son's graduation cap topper much tighter than yesterday.
Because you never think that you wake up and then the person not here no more. So it's hard.
Police also rushed to a separate second shooting around 8 o'clock Tuesday night when officers found 15-year-old Kanye Pittman fatally shot on the 2500 block of Sydenham Street in North Philly. He was a freshman at Benjamin Franklin High School.
Murders happened within 28 minutes before the sun went down, but when it got dark out, one of the lasers from one of 2 guns firing 32 shots at this 15-year-old fell off the gun. It was still laser lit with that red laser when police got to the scene and were investigating.
We've had an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old killed within a half-hour time frame. Clearly 2 separate shootings in 2 separate neighborhoods, miles from each other. So we're treating them as isolated incidents. That laser light appears to have fallen off of possibly a gun, and it's laying on the sidewalk. It's still lit. Hopefully our crime scene personnel can get some fingerprints or possibly DNA from that laser light.
So the 15 and 8-year-old were the fifth and sixth of 6 murders within 30 hours in Philadelphia.
On June 3rd, 2021, a shooting on the 1800 block of West Diamond Street was reported. When police arrived, they saw a black Toyota Camry with no occupant, with bullet holes in both sides and blood stains on the interior. Detectives had it towed to the police garage and got a search warrant.
This morning, a 17-year-old is in stable condition after a shooting in North Philadelphia. Police believe the teen was in a car on the 1800 block of West Diamond Street when he was shot. The driver of the vehicle lost control and crashed into 2 parked cars. Police are still unclear if the victim was the driver or the passenger. The entire incident was caught on surveillance cameras, which will hopefully help police as the search for suspects continues.
6 minutes after the shooting, Reek's co-defendant Zaire Crawford walked into Penn Presbyterian Hospital with a gunshot wound to his left arm. Crawford told the medical staff that he was the front passenger in the Toyota Camry and stopped at a red light on Diamond Street when he was shot at. Crawford stated to police at the hospital that he did not see the shooter. Zaire Crawford or Murder K would not identify the driver of the Camry. Detectives executed a search warrant on the car and recovered 2 cell phones, a blue iPhone 12 and a black iPhone 7. They also found a Pennsylvania state ID for Zaire Crawford, which was found in the case of the iPhone 7. Search warrants were executed on each of the phones and revealed that the iPhone 7 was registered to people associated with Zaire Crawford, and the same for Samaj Nolan with the iPhone 12. Philadelphia police also secured tower dump data from the time and areas of both the Poplar Street shooting and the Sydenham Street shooting. The phones belonging to Reek and Murder K were traveling together in the area of both shooting scenes at the time they occurred. A few weeks later, the cops found a green Subaru Forester with damage to the front end, and shell casings were found inside the car as if someone was shooting from inside. In September of 2021, a young man named Bryson was picked up for car theft. Instead of taking the charge, he surprised detectives and said he had information on 4 separate homicides.
We riding dirty 3 gats and we got Reek in the world. Nigga only got booked for Johnny like high school. You got 3 niggas in the gang all fighting Will.
Police were floored and couldn't believe their luck. Young men aren't just helping solve or potential murder cases or a car theft every day. In fact, the detective handling the case was quoted as saying, "I've never seen a young kid do that," said Southwest Philadelphia Detective Michael Carr. He was crucial, and without him, we wouldn't have anyone.
This 1 pound come with different type of frozen. Bryce took the stand on the bruise, he was a bold witness. Rule number 1 to the streets, we don't do no snitching.
The witness knew the dates and approximate locations of each killing, he told police, and the nicknames of all the shooters. There was Ya and Reek and Murder K, he told them. There was Curry and F52. As a young teen, his family moved him over 1,000 miles away. The witness visited Philadelphia annually to see his father, though his mother felt uneasy about his safety ever since he was arrested, she told the Enquirer in 2024. Following his grandmother's death in June 2021, he stayed for the summer during a record-breaking year for violence. According to prosecutor Sidney Pope, members of the Young Facing Rangers and the Young Bag Chasers were responsible for a lot of the killings during that period. And the other 2 murders handed to police by the witness were the murders of KJ and Snipe in the summer of 2021. He will also testify at their murderers' trials as well.
Everything he knew, niggas ain't get a chance to fight.
With the Reek and Murder K case, the witness testified that Zaire Crawford told the witness that he, along with Reek12Hunnit and Yassine Miles, who goes by Baby Wick, quote, bagged 2 bodies in one day. The first murder was at the intersection of 39th and Poplar. Zaire had told the witness, Bryce, that they drove a stolen Subaru to the intersection of 39th and Poplar when Reek started shooting first from the car before they can even figure out who it was. When the victim, Nasir Marks, fell to the ground, Zaire got out of the vehicle and stood over top of him, firing at him. Zaire Crawford then told the witness that they switched vehicles from the Forester to a GMC Denali and drove to 15th and some street that began with the letter S. where they murdered a person he only knew as Ye. Crawford saw Kanye, hopped out of the vehicle, and began chasing him. When the victim fell, he shot him in the face and head. The witness was shown surveillance video from the scene at the Sydenham Street shooting and identified one of the individuals as Zaire Crawford by the way he ran and the extended clip he was holding. He was also able to identify Baby Wick by the particular pair of sneakers he was wearing that day. At trial, he also testified that Zaire told him he had 3 bullets left in the chamber from the Poplar Street shooting and used those bullets in the Sydenham Street shooting. Along with that, the witness said that all 3 said that Zaire Crawford was driving somewhere in North Philly in a stolen Toyota Camry and somebody started shooting through the car. Zaire and Reek were both shot and the car crashed. That's when Zaire went to the hospital with the gunshot wound. Everything the witness told police and testified to at trial was corroborated by ballistics evidence. Reek was now on the run, while Murder K will be picked up in September. Reek would spend the rest of 2021 and half of 2022 on a run for murder, all while shooting music videos, trolling police by taking pictures in front of the station, and hopping from Airbnb to Airbnb, sometimes sleeping in people's cars.
We gon' disrespect us cause we got the city scared. We'll say he gon' pick the whole motherfucking city red. We got beats so don't touch stuff. We gon' hit that corner, fuck it up. You tryna west go and Teddy. He thought it was cool, he had to catch one. I mean that nigga caught something. That nigga ran with his fingers. This nigga dumb. Chase me and chase shit down. We having fun. It's like straight at the straight. Them niggas know that we ain't done. Right? Please ask them out. Like why they running with their guns? Yeah, some of them niggas keep talking about that little ass 10K. We don't want to listen what's the name that hit 3K. How the fuck I spent 3K on one way? Yo, John, get the front. They spend it back to back on the mop on the Sunday. They spend it back to back on the 9. Top water shit like off the runway. You hear that gun spray? Time like the switchy all twice one day. I don't fucking let the switchy go off twice one day. Used to the roster that was gonna. First see the spark and then he turned it to a runner. Looking with a bitch. Fuck it, but he gon' get it together. Go and shot.
Don't get it twisted, bitch. I still pop right out that cut. He out of luck. Caught his ass up on that side. He should've ducked. We spin back to back. Bodies in one day. They know what's up. We get it done. Get that drop and drop his ass. This shit for fun. Let's add up dead niggas. Throw ain't see it coming. Oh, let's knock. They know we here splitters. Working on that block. They on the run. We let it dump. YFA young face arranger. Super active. What you want? Caught them blacking that there like we hopping out and having fun. We got different type ops, so we got different type glocks. With this big ass chop, we hop out, walk him down, for sure he done. Said it, say that light ain't changed fast, though, shit go pick him up. Took too long to play the mirror, shit too bad, we send him up. Red dot, headshot, big glocks that made his head pop. Still can speak on what's the name, they still ain't dead none. Check the stats, them niggas know what's up. We hit some wigs, huh? Wolfing on the net, he done got touched, go pick your man up. Said he camped done hold them big ass shots and did some rack, go X about she flame too.
What this case shows is something investigators and prosecutors will tell you over and over again. The streets may feel anonymous, the cars are stolen, the phones are in someone else's name, you move fast, you switch cars, you say nothing to the police, but the reality of modern life, cell towers, ring cameras, and ballistics databases doesn't care about the code of silence. It just records and keeps recording. Samaj Nolan left a palm print on the rearview mirror of the car he thought was clean. That print in a database matched. Zaire Crawford's phone was in a car he said he barely knew anything about. That phone placed him at 2 murders. And a man arrested for stealing cars decided to talk and spill everything.
Always scared to jump inside that ride like fuck you bitching for it. And break that book for Johnny like fuck you snitching for it.
Every link in that chain was a place where YFA assumed they were safe. None of them were. A jury convicted the 2 and they received 35.5 to life, and Baby Wick got 20 to 40 for conspiracy. No forensic evidence can link Yasin Miles or Baby Wick to the crime of murder. On appeal, Reek12Hunnit argued that consolidating his 2 murder cases into a single trial severely prejudiced him by exposing the jury to what is called improper, quote, bad acts evidence, leading them to assume his criminal propensity. However, the Superior Court of Pennsylvania affirmed his sentence, ruling that consolidation was lawful under the res gestae exception because the homicides occurring just 30 minutes apart and linked by the same stolen vehicle, cell phone data, and ballistics were inextricably linked and necessary to tell the complete story. The court further determined that the jury was capable of separating the distinct cases and that Samaj Nolan or Reek12Hunnit suffered no undue prejudice, noting that the trial judge issued a cautionary instruction to the jury not to consider the evidence as proof of criminal propensity, an instruction Nolan's defense team did not object to during trial. Being influenced by a gang like YBC in a year like 2021, this was always the predictable finish. It wasn't predictable that 2 young lives were ended for what seemed to be no reason. Nasir Marks killed for being on a block near what YBC calls the 39th Street. And to be honest, they say it was mistaken identity, but they probably would have killed anyone that fit the description of an op that day. They were on an adrenaline rush along with whatever drugs they happened to be doing at the time. Kanye Pittman more than likely was innocent as well, but I can't confirm that 100%. Kanye was 15 years old and resided on 17th Street in North Philadelphia. He was a freshman at Benjamin Franklin High School. There was a time when a 15-year-old was always considered innocent no matter the circumstances. But as the shooters are getting younger and younger these days, it's hard to make that determination just off age. And that's the end of the story. Reek has exhausted his appeals, Baby Wick is appealing, and that literally seems like it's it for Reek. He's gonna do his 35 to life, 1K's gonna do his 35 to life, and that's about it. The streets are alive, kids, and I always tell you this. If you want more content like this, stay tuned. I'm working on some special videos for the channel that you don't want to miss. I'm gonna leave it there for now. Thanks for watching American Confidential, and until next time, be safe.
We get on that ass, he trippin' for you know he finished. Build it like the chase, he stay on go, don't do no missing. Free Baby Wiki out about drawing and leave him twitching.
We riding dirty 3 gats and we got Reek in the world. Nigga only got booked for Johnny, like how you squeal? You got 3 niggas in the gang all fighting wills. How the fuck you get away? Shit, we almost had Quill. See Gunner really hanging with the ops, that shit real. Baby Wick like 5 feet, but he bang like Shaquille. Hit a nigga with the switch.